Unbelievable performance from Team Mac there. And the facilities that they were able to get him fit to the mark with are absolutely sensational. Some big major milestones to come out of Ballarat. We've seen an Oaks winner trained out of Ballarat. Mitch Friedman obviously is there as well. He trained Skybird to win a Lightning Stakes. And then the wonderful Aspura, who was again crowned Europe's best sprinter this year, winning at Nunthorpe, winning in France. A great part of the world to be training thoroughbreds. Matt Kumani, a former Englishman, now an Australian, trains out of Ballarat. Here's a tour of the facilities with him.
Trainers all over the world and in Australia have different facilities to train at, but I think here at Ballarat we've got the uphill track, straight 1400 metres with a 4-degree incline. It's a great place to train racehorses. But it's the fact that it's straight which is really key, and it just means that a horse isn't always loading that inside leg and that off hind leg, turning round tight turns.
Sectionals have gone 10-6 over.
The hill track here has this fantastic laser system. As they pass each furlong marker, they break the laser and it records their times on the screen. So, it's really handy having accurate feedback on exactly what times they've done. If you can train a horse up a hill where they're not going at top speed, but they are getting fit, they're really working, I think that's quite a good compromise and a good way to get them fit in preparation for the gallops and jump outs that will lead to a race. Uphill training tracks are, I think, a vital part of sort of range of training facilities that you can have or have access to for training horses.
It's a great facility, Em. I've been lucky enough to be there a number of occasions and watching horses gallop up and all the data you can extract from it. And the place continues to improve as well.
Yeah, so they're building a covered uphill track as well, which I believe the roof will be nearly fixated over the next couple of months. And that is because Ballarat does get so incredibly cold during the winter months. Yeah. They need to stop snow and sleet settling on the ground. So it
to go. Globe tries to keep on running. He is for the moment. He leads 2 lengths Earlswood. Lady in Pink coming out of the pack. Aerosol next. And they'll follow by Poison Chalice. Future History. Barclay Square down the outside. Lady in Pink, the mare of the race, going up to Globe. Globe not lying down. Barclay Square's coming. Barclay Square's lifting out of the ground. Barclay Square did it. Ballarat won't be sleeping tonight.
Hi, 7 Horse Racing fans. Jayla Kennedy here. I've been at home the last 3 months recovering from a knee surgery. It's been a long road. My rehab probably hasn't been as smooth sailing as my naive self thought. I thought I'd definitely be back in the saddle by now, but probably not looking at being back until the end of January, beginning of February. And saying that, I've really enjoyed spending time with my friends and family. You don't realise how much you miss out on when you're on the road 7 days a week, and it's been a breath of fresh air, but I really am looking forward to being back in the saddle at 100% health.
Oh, we can't wait to see you again, Jayla. So working on course, doing a little sort of mounting yard analysis today. Good on her.
Great girl.
Champion.
Absolute superstar. She's got a real future in front of the camera if she wants it, but can ride as well. And we saw in that 2024 edition of the Ballarat Cup how much it meant to win her so-called hometown cup with Dan O'Sullivan, who was her master as an apprentice. So really exciting to see her back at the track, hopefully in not too long a time. Let's learn a little bit more about Declan Bates. We know has ridden Pride of Jenny the majority of her career, and today rides Detonator Jack in the Ballarat Cup.
Certainly being Irish, there's the go-to one is normally, you're drunk, go home, you potato, stuff like that. If it's a brand new set of colours, you gotta throw them on the ground and stand on them. Get another jockey to stand on them. Just give them a little bit dirty before you wear them. And that's one that I took from back home. That to this day, if it's a brand new set of colours, I gotta throw them on the ground and get someone to stand on them. There's plenty of those. Maybe Fred Kersley. He's a stylish guy. Good on him. And takes good care of himself. And I have to say Pride of Jenny. A lot of heart, a lot of ability, and when you combine those two, I think get something pretty special. Most memorable has got to be the Queen Elizabeth win in Randwick.
This is a demolition job. Pride of Jenny in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes.
The amount of people, even outside of racing, that seems to have been aware of it. Skateboarding, I was a big skateboarder as a kid. Didn't do it for years, but my two little girls have getting sort of to the stage now where they're doing they're out on their scooters and stuff, so I've started pulling out the old skateboard lately, and
Gee, I tell you what, the colours are bold, aren't they?
Oh, I like that. It's like a little flower pot. Bill and Ben, the flower pot men, right? And now we've got a little sheer number. Oh, look at that. That's pretty. You want me to keep going, don't you?
Well, it's your hole. Fill it in. You dug it. Bill and Ben, the flower pot men.
Do you want me to sing again? I've already done it today.
Beautiful looking ladies.
Oh, Emily Lang, you are very honest in your appraisal of some of your trainers there, and good to have you on the desk.
No, it's good to be here today.
Tony Gollan gives you a big spray.
Yeah, I've had the odd spray from him, but he's been pretty good recently. I've been going through a bit of a tough run, and I think he's been quite careful. He's noticed that I've been a bit fragile, so I think he's been a bit soft on me lately, so there's probably one around the corner. Tell
us about this jockeys room that we're just so interested in at the moment. Obviously, you live with CJ Graham, you've got Ange Jones in there as well. You were battling out the premiership last year with her, and these amazing scenes of the champagne. I'm disappointed in you both that you didn't get the boss a little more with this bottle.
Yeah, no, he carried on when we did spray him a little bit, so I'm glad that we didn't start off on him.
The arm?
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's great being in the room. We're a very sort of close-knit bunch, and as you said, I live with CJ while my house is getting built, and yeah, I think she's one of the best friends I've ever had. She's we look after each other, and it's just good being or sort of associating yourself with people who are on the same level as you, and we sort of eat the same, train the same. We love to sort of get out and about when we're not riding, and we get on the bikes and do a bit of bike riding. We
look at the kit.
Yeah, you know, yep. We've
all
got
the gear and some idea.
Yeah, a little bit. CJ's sort of a bit better on it than me, but it's we sort of just go out and have a good time. So yeah, I'm quite lucky to have people like her and Ange in the room, and it makes coming to work a lot better.
Sounds like you let her punch the breeze and you just jump in behind her in any of those bike rides. Hey, talking about today, there was one race there was 9 female jockeys riding. It must be packed in there today.
Yeah, the room is absolutely chock-a-block today with the 2 country races, and I think it's actually a testament to how many young female riders are actually coming through the ranks now. I think I was saying not long ago I went to an apprentice school here, and there was 28 apprentice jockeys, and out of that 21 of them were female. So there's a lot of girls starting to ride in Queensland, so it's quite exciting.
Do you think part of that is the reason? I mean, weight for girls is usually a little bit easier because, you know, we're the same kind of height. It can be a little bit easier for us in terms of our height, but also the fact that a lot more girls do take part in pony club, it seems, and that is the natural progression. If you take part in pony club as a young kid, there's not, I mean, unless you want to do equestrian and spend the big money yourself becoming a good show jumper or dressage rider, race riding is a way to make $1 out of something that you love.
Oh, 100%. I think that for me, I wasn't from a racing background at all, but I come through sort of the pony club path and went away with my horse eventing and whatnot, and then got into it that way, because there's so many, I think, performance riders like the eventers and whatnot that they do that, but on the side they've got their little pre-trainers and whatnot to make money on the side.
It's expensive. It's so expensive to do.
It is. You've got to have money to sort of start off in a show jumping and whatnot, and I think you can tell sort of a lot of the young girls coming through the pony club, they sort of want to stick with the horses and make it a career, and the best way to make money out of it from the start is by becoming a jockey. So yeah.
Thank you very much there, Quinny, as we take you into the yard for the time-honoured Ballarat Cup at listed level. It's worth $500,000 over the 2,000 metres. And the one is Casino 17, who's on the quick backup from the Eclipse.
Yeah, terrific win in the Eclipse. Defeated Rumble again there. I think goes harder here, and with 59.5 kilos has the task. Kingswood would have been the favourite in the Eclipse. They scratched thinking the track was going to get too wet. It certainly wasn't. And as a result, I think they were a little annoyed that they ended up winning the race, the stable anyway. Kings would have run well. Air Assault ditto, an inside barrier, having his 4th attempt at the 2,000 metres. He's placed on a couple of occasions, but the reality is he hasn't won north of 1,800 metres. Soft track shouldn't be a concern. He will run well. Here's the defending champ, and the blinkers go on with Barclay Square as well.
Yeah, it's great ride for Luke Nolan to pick up there, looking to go back-to-back. A wide gate, probably a little difficult, but they're spacing where they put the blinkers on him, and they get him at the exact right time. Tommy Berry's just saying, is she blowing up about what just happened? And yes, I am, Tom. He's obviously maybe going for a little visit to the steward's room, I think. The 5 detonator Jack would be happy with the soft conditions. Now, this is St George. He's still in the stalls here.
He's being replated. So there was a little issue with one of his race plates, so whether it shifted. So he's being replated at the moment, St George. So a wide barrier. Craig Williams has got to overcome that wide barrier. 3rd up from a spell. I think now he's getting towards his absolute peak fitness. Poison Chalice, they've decided to take the blinkers off. The Winker near side will be going on for him. Disappointing in the Eclipse. I thought he would run better than that. Damien Lane will ride half a kilo over, make note as well. But, of course, Frosty's in really, really good form.
Oh, what are we going to do with Statuario? Last start was disappointing in the Cranbourne Cup, but before that was really good at Flemington. Back up to the 2,000, is that the big thing that's going to help him today?
I think that will help him. And always keep in mind that performance at Flemington was in the Greys race. So it can be a hard race to assess form moving forward from it. It's so restricted in that way. The Bussett and Young team have Shayar. Now, he can be a little enigmatic. Is that fair to say? He can be a little hard to catch. The best of Shayar would be competitive in a race like this. This is my best roughie in the race. Look at the price he is, Firm Agreement. Now, he's a 4-year-old on the up compared to a few of these that have had a few spins around. Now, the reality is he's won 1 race in his career, 1 maiden. But he has placed on 6 occasions, including in a derby, an ATC derby, behind a pretty good one in Aliana.
You make a really good point there. My only concern with him is this pattern. He just gets so far out of his ground and then he needs forever and a day to wind up and rattle home. I'm hoping he can do it too. But
look at his barriers. So he's drawn 11, 12 and 12. He draws low today.
Okay.
Can Ryan Houston, the young apprentice who's got a great record with the Archables, can he use that barrier to get a little closer?
It's just whether if the horse has tactical speed, I guess. The 13 is Cadmus, drops back from the 28 to the 2,000 today, comes out of a benchmark 96 at Flemington behind Let's Deal, and before that, behind a horse that we've got a bit of time for in Wootton Verney.
Yeah, I really like Wootton Verney, and that was in the Coonjia's course, so Cadmus will run well. Ocean Beyond has not won for a long time, and that was down the straight in a listed race when it was trained previously by a previous trainer, Andrew Bobbin. It's now with Simon Ryan. It's going really well, though. The reality is he's going well, but does he want to win?
The will to win is always very important when it comes to race day. And the 15 is Ghetto Superstar, who comes out of the Moe Cup. That was behind Howland Rain, who ran well earlier in the day, although this is probably a tougher assignment. We've got the Moe Cup, we've had the Cranbourne Cup, and now the Ballarat Cup, and this is at listed level today. So we're going to have an update as to which shoes that St George is going to race in today, and news through that he will race in the standard plates in front instead of the bar plates, as you mentioned.
Okay.
So they've obviously done, well, the farriers maybe got a little confused or something, or they've put in a late request to stewards.
Yeah, because he was listed just to have his standard plates on, so I don't know what the happened is. So there will be an adjustment. There was certainly no gear change, so maybe he did have the bar plates previously there. So he normally does wear bar plates, so now he's in the standard plates here. So we might take the opportunity for a quick break. It's Ballarat Cup Day, and the feature is not far away. A little delay with St George, who's waiting to get replayed. He needs a new pair of shoes. Hope they're not hush
So do
puppies.
I.
Yours are Manalo Blarney,
I
I would have
wish.
thought. Here we go. Quick break. We'll be back. Ballarat Cup next. Casino 17 being resaddled will take some time, including Cabalus, who's a Group 3 winner only 2 starts ago. There is St George making his way around there, and he can take his time to a degree because there's some farrier work being done on the former Perth horse called Casino 17. He started his career right here as a Magic Millions 2-year-old purchase, $45,000. Then he made his way over to Perth. He had a great career over in Perth, including winning Lee Steer Stakes and the like. And now as an 8-year-old, he's now at Cranbourne with Gavin Bedgood winning races like the Eclipse. It's a great story.
Terrific. Really good job there. And I'm looking forward as well to the George Moore Stakes, which is our next feature event at Doomben today over the 1200. Highlight of the day for mine, Group 3 level, but also just so much at stake as to where they go. We saw that last year the winner in Hidden Wealth, who's looking to go back-to-back, went on to run in the open race at the Magics over the 1,300 metres, and that's worth $1.5 million. So there'll be a mind for doing that in a few weeks' time for the winner of the George Moore Stakes. So there's St George on your screen. You can also see that Craig Williams has the visor on at the moment, meaning that that track, even though we haven't had a downgrade further to a soft 7, is obviously pretty tricky to ride in, and Craig, being the astute hoop that he is, making sure that he's got the corrective eye gear on to make sure that he can see, which is important.
And Craig also announcing that next week he will ride in Saturday. I think he rides in Australia and then jumps on a plane. He's got 4 rides in the 4 Group 1s in Hong Kong, including teaming up with David Hayes. So that's fantastic for Craig Williams to arrive in Hong Kong. You can watch it all, of course, on 7+, but 4 rides in the Group 1s. He'll be one of the rare jockeys who's got all 4. James McDonald does as well, of course, with a live chance in a couple of those, led by Romantic Warrior.
So we've had a revised time here. You can see the clock has jumped back up, so we're counting down to a revised start time. A minute 50 still to run until we hopefully are not further delayed. Slowly head to the gates. I don't want you getting fired up. You know, herd animal, keep you calm, cool and collected, but yeah, he can be a difficult conveyance, can St George. We're going to be even later than the prescribed start time here.
He's taking after his stallion's name, isn't he? He's by Roaring Lion, and he's trying to be a little like that. Here's Air Assault. Jason Holder. That's probably the best nickname in racing,
Stubby.
isn't it? Yeah, Stubby. Hard to beat. From a jockey, can you beat Stubby Holder?
I don't think so.
who is riding Air Assault. I think Jason Holder also has a record. If he's able to win another Group 1, I think it'll be the biggest gap between Group 1s in at least Australian racing history. I think we go back to South Australian Derby in the late 90s was his last Group 1.
We're really getting into some areas here as we wait.
Good areas, though.
Terrific areas. And if you're tuning into, actually, you know what I'm going to get you to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to get you to just tune into 7 Plus right now, and let's get a little cricket update as we wait and see if the Aussies are still in at the crease.
Yeah, 8 for 450. They lead by 116 at the moment. So you don't need to watch the cricket. You can just stay listening to us. It's tea at the moment. Mitch Stark's 46 not out. So everyone who's watching the crickets right now turned across to watch the Ballarat Cup. Terrific race. St George looks hard to beat for mine. That's where the big money's gone. He's been replated. The delay is over. Firm agreement. The roughie can go forward here as well. Here we go. The Ballarat Cup.
Another grey Statuario joins them, Berkeley Square. The last one is St George. And the field for the Sportsbet Ballarat Cup is about to go. 2,000 metres ahead of them, St George moved in and they're all loaded. Set to run. They're away. Ghetto Superstar about a length slow. Statuario was one of the first to get going with Air Assault. Firm agreement is nice and close. Detonator Jack was next, and then Shayar followed Kingswood, who gets himself into about 5th or 6th position on settling. Casino 17 was next, and they were followed by St George, who's on a 4-wide run in the early stages, getting up to midfield. Poison Chalice was next from Promises Kept, and Cadmus, Ocean Beyond, Ghetto Superstar, and last year's winner, the local hope here, Berkeley Square. He's at the tail of the field as they head past the 1400. So Air Assault has the lead, 3/4 on St George, who whipped up into 2nd spot. 2.5 to Statuario 3rd, 4th Firm Agreement. Just on a length away to Detonator Jack, Casino 17 and Shayar. Kingswood was next, and then Poison Chalice, followed by Promises Kept, and then Cadmus, Ghetto Superstar, Berkeley Square, and now a length away last is Ocean Beyond as they moved off the back. So they're inside halfway in the Cup, and it's Air Assault who led them off barrier 1. He led by a length over St George. 2.5 away 3rd Statuario from Firm Agreement, and then Detonator Jack. Shayar's been deep all of the way. Casino 17, Kingswood's been amongst runners. Then Promises Kept, followed by Poison Chalice and Cadmus. Berkeley Square's got 12 lengths to make up. Ocean Beyond and Ghetto Superstar last as they head around the turn. Air Assault just had the lead from St George. A length Statuario, Detonator Jack running on. Berkeley Square's the deepest out, and then followed by Kingswood into the clear from Casino 17. Into the straight, St George up to Air Assault. Statuario closing. Detonator Jack, Kingswood back towards the inside. Berkeley Square's looming up. 200 to go. And Berkeley Square goes to Statuario. Then Cadmus from the back running on. Berkeley Square drew away. He'll do it again. Berkeley Square's home in the Cup. 2.5 lengths over Cadmus. 3rd in Statuario, and 4th in was Kingswood. They were followed by Detonator Jack. Next home was Ocean Beyond and Poison Chalice. St George. Further back to Firm Agreement. Air Assault got tied. Ghetto Superstar. And towards the tail end was Promises Kept.
You're a bloody marvel, Berkeley Square. Back-to-back wins in your home cup is superb. And for Dan O'Sullivan, if we see him on course today, you'll see and note that he's walking around with a big boot on, because Berkeley Square a week ago was a little fresh on Saturday morning and decided to jump on the foot of Dan O'Sullivan and cause him a break in his feet. Oh, ouch, says Dan. He wouldn't be feeling any pain now. That is a super win.
A great training performance, a year in between victories, but the ultimate thing, the blinkers going on at the exact right time. They knew what they were working with. He'd done it before. He'd come out of some nice races at Flemington at Geelong over the past few months. And maybe they just thought, you know what, we can go back to back here, hold with the blinkers, apply them at the exact right moment. Young Jayla Kennedy will be disappointed she's not on board today with her knee injury, but Luke Nolan, a great replacement rider, and does a very good job and going back to back there with Ballarat Cups.
Oh, so there is little Jayla, who's doing the pick of the yard today for racing.com. So she'd be absolutely thrilled with that. And you know, also it's another, wonderful feather in the cap of Dan O'Sullivan. He didn't follow the exact program of last year. Last year he did the Queen Elizabeth, then ran at Caulfield leading into it. And he said, no, I didn't think he needed to run this year. I didn't second guess myself. I feel like I know the horse. And I sensed how fresh he was when he jumped on my foot. So that's a great story, isn't it? Berkeley Square wins. So start 36, win 9, prize money over 2 million.
Geez, I tell you what, there's a few there that were disappointing. There she is, young Jayla. She's doing the interviewing as well. Good on you, girl. Cadmus, who was the longest in the field in terms of price, runs a bottler in for the double-figure quote for the place. Statuario, 2,000 is his go. That's his go. I've got no doubt about that. Kingswood ducked up on the inside to finish 4th. St George, an interesting early move by Craig Williams to try and put him into the race, and Air Assault fading badly from the front. They are scratching. Let's replay the Ballarat Cup, and Dan O'Sullivan, what a training performance back-to-back. Let's hear from winning trainer.
Magnificent training performance to bring him back for a second victory in the Ballarat Cup. Last year was something special, but I get a sense looking at you that this supersedes it.
Yeah, it does. Well done. Yeah, it was like, I don't know, not under pressure, but it's just good to see him do it and going with the blinkers on him. And just once he went forward at the half, I was like, this Secret Cup is going to be beautiful. And to win so comfortably like that was just really, really good. And he's just a bloody good horse. And he's just, I don't know, I've been reluctant to put the blinkers on for a while, rather than he'd over race, but just Luke just got it perfect today. And he's just a bloody good horse. And he's won over $2 million in prize money now, so it's a good effort to do.
You're pretty comfortable with how it was playing out in the early stages. There were the question marks over what the draw would mean for how his race would play out.
Yeah, I said to Luke, I was very paranoid about him settling, and he jumped out a little bit slow, which he can do. And I was pleased to see Craig's horse go forward and apply a bit of pressure to Air Assault. And we knew he'd be strong late in the race, and to see him go and win by a couple of lengths like that's great. Yeah.
Mel's just filled us in a little bit. It is a team effort, and you've lent on some young riders in our ranks like Jayla and Sarah Field for some advice, and that advice has helped produce this victory.
Yeah, that's right. So it is a team effort, and Jayla's been at me for a long time, and Sarah's stepped up and been riding work since Jayla's been out, and they've all got their jobs to do, and they think I don't listen to what they say half the time, but usually I do. Sometimes I put it in the back burner, but I do take most things in, but sometimes you've got to make the right time to make that call.
Dan, congratulations in the more than 160 years history of this race. Berkeley Square's now on the top shelf as a two-time winner, so well done.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Luke, congratulations. You had a look at all of them in front of you, but he looked like he had a pretty easy time getting past them. Pick it up from halfway for us and how things panned out.
Well, just it was important to probably get the first part right, the blinkers first, or blinkers again. The other 2 times he'd had him on, he sort of didn't get cover, didn't get that chance to rest. Whilst he was strong into the body, he wasn't aggressive. I got an opportunity, I came away to sort of 3 deep line and just made my job a little bit easier because I wasn't that far back from him. And just when the change-up came, gave him a chance to sort of blend. I had a lot to do still, but didn't use a penny and just stronger into it. And I just thought they'll come back to me, but he was surging at him. It was a very strong win. Like, I think I'm not sure how many runs he's had here, but he's 2 for 2 at the 2,000 metres here, so might as well have a go at a free-peat, and then it's going to be under me and Jayla who rides him next year, because it's a swings and roundabout sort of thing. Like I was supposed to ride him in this race last year, and I had that unfortunate fall, but she did a marvellous job, and now she's on the sidelines, and I got to take up the reins again. So it's one of those things at racing. You take the rough from the smooth, and we're on whilst I'm having a good run of the smooth, and Jayla's having a bit of a rough run of it at the moment, but these things turn around very quickly.
Put it in great context as always. Was there a particular runner, one of the favourite greys that you were sort of looking to track or keep an eye on?
No, not really. I was just trying to get my part of the race right, because most of the horses that were probably going to be dragging me into the race were all going to be forward of me, and I thought Craig would sort of push his hand from the outside gate, so I knew I couldn't sort of let him roll down the hill and expect to get him back, so I took my medicine, and the race turned out really well for us in the end.
You've worked with some great trainers. Dan O'Sullivan is as understated as they come. Talk to us about his talent, what he's done to be able to produce this horse 2 years in a row.
Well, he's done an excellent job, and the horse had been running well. He was great in the Geelong Cup, but he's peaked him on this day because there's an option for him every week. And after that so-so run at Flemington in Queen Elizabeth, but he said he just said back off and we'll pick this race target this race in a month's time. So he needs to be commended for that, and he grows the leg on this track too. So he's done a great job with him. It's probably been a bit of a tour because he hasn't really won. He's continued to run well and tested his patience, but he hasn't won a race since this day last year. So credit goes to Dan and his team. They do a wonderful job.
Thanks, Luca. Well-deserved success.
Thank you, Nigel. Cheers, mate.
Winners today at Ballarat. Now, Jackson Radley's one of the stories of the day today with that double. Harry Coffey, a sweet ride on Steel Move. Lockie Neindorf led on Shy Star. Luke Curry, Prince Eric down the outside, and Luke Nolan was able to win the Cup. That was a great training performance from Dan O'Sullivan. He changed it up year in, year out, and that takes a fair bit of courage. Super day of racing today on the screens of 7, highlighted by the $500,000 Ballarat Cup and Barclays Square, with a wonderful ride by Luke Nolan, but a brilliant training performance by Dan O'Sullivan. Goes back to back.
Yeah, that was some sort of effort to be able to put the blinkers on him at the exact right time. Plot a different course than he did last year. So he grew wings in the concluding stages over the 2,000 metres, and young Jayla Kennedy, who's out at the moment with a severe knee injury, watching on and congratulations.